Happy Monday to you, and thanks so much for joining us today on UpNorthLive Unscripted. Hopefully you got outside and enjoyed the warmer, nice weather we had today, because Joe said we could be waking up to some snow tomorrow. So let's turn things over to Joe. And Joe, how much snow are we talking here?
Well, first couple things about the weekend. I saw my first butterfly and also first mosquito this weekend. Yes, so there's that. But yeah, it's going to be a lot different in just about 12 hours from now, Maya. We're going to have some snow rolling in here and some messy weather. Now, we're not going, you're not going to have to shovel a foot of snow, but it's still going to be a little jarring, I think, tomorrow. So we'll look at that. There'll be a lot of wind with that. But I think by Wednesday and Thursday, the sun's going to be right back out again.
Good.
So it won't last too long.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that a little later.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We do have an update tonight on a story that we have been following since late February. A man and a woman were found dead outside of an Otsego County home. State police now say that both of them died of accidental overdoses of meth and fentanyl. State police will only identify them as a 61-year-old man from Grayling and a 43-year-old woman from Lansing. Now, our Daniel Zivian has been following this case since the very start, and he shares some of the 911 call from a passing motorist who saw the first body in the driveway that morning.
Are you there in the driveway now?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go up to him or no?
Yes. He's not moving. He's kind of gray colored. There's no breath sounds, nothing.
Okay, he's not breathing. Can you feel a pulse?
I didn't really want to touch him.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
A 6-hour blockade of Myrna Road soon followed. Then more than a month of waiting for the autopsy and toxicology report. It came back showing lethal amounts of methamphetamines and fentanyl.
We are still looking at how the individuals obtain the narcotics. That is still, on our radar and what we are pursuing. We just don't know how exactly they came to have the drugs at that time.
Lieutenant Miller says they believe the two people died quickly and were out there for a while, possibly overnight, leaving 2 children inside but unharmed.
The children are in a safe place and they are getting the resources that they need at this time. So that's really all I can say on the children.
That was Daniel Zivian reporting, and we will continue to update you on the story once we do learn more details. Well, it has been about 2 weeks now since the lights went out for tens of thousands of folks across northern Michigan. And for the past 15 days, power crews have been very busy replacing poles and restringing lights. But it's been a massive rebuilding project of the grid. And not only is it massive, but as our Mark Schlett explains, also pretty expensive.
Biggest word I want to get out to everybody is we're close.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, and knock on wood, soon there will be light back for most, if not all, customers of Great Lakes Energy and Presque Isle Electric and Gas.
We continue to dedicate, our initial commitment to 100% restoral, and that's what our resources continue to be focused on.
100% restoral. That's been the goal for this pair since the first drop of freezing rain fell 2 weeks ago.
It was that first day, you realize it was bad, and then it kept going for 3-4 days, and the ice just sat there, and things continued to get worse. It made it really hard to get things fixed. It made it really hard to fully assess the damage.
And damage there was. County after county, downed lines, snapped poles, and lots of crews working lots of long days.
We've replaced over 2,800 poles, which is over 3 times what we would normally replace in a year, and we've done that all in the last couple of weeks. We've restored over 4,100 miles of line, and if you map that out, that would get you pretty much to Norway. So that's a lot of miles. It's long ways.
We have over 1,400 folks across our service territory in trucks all over the place, getting this cleaned up and getting the power restored.
And all that cleanup, repair, and rebuilding work, all those workers and all that material is going to be expensive. Early estimates, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Our focus is 100% on power restoration. We are definitely watching the costs and tracking these dollars, and it is something that we're working with state and local leaders to say this is a very expensive operation. But number one, first and foremost, is getting power restored safely, and we have to do that. That's our mission.
But they acknowledge when that mission is accomplished, costs will have to be addressed. And outside help, just like with the restoration effort, will be needed.
The governor has been in contact with the federal government because there is going to be a need as we move forward to recover costs from this. So it's going to be a process. And I think the answer to your question is to be determined, but we have started that process, and it's going to take a full team to get there.
Mark Shillette reporting. And while the vast majority of homes and businesses have had their power restored, there are still some challenging small areas that crews are still working to restore tonight. Now, Governor Whitmer's request for federal disaster relief from the White House is still pending, which could free up some funds to help cover some of the costs. We will also keep you updated on that. Well, tonight we are continuing our Monday tradition here on Unscripted of looking ahead to warmer days and some concerts at Interlochen Center for the Arts. So I think it is the last announcement, let's bring in our guest tonight, Rodney. He is the marketing manager for live events and hospitality. And Rodney, this is the last announcement for the season, right?
This is the last announcement for the season, and potentially this is the most well-known worldwide artist that we've announced.
Wow.
So what we're announcing now is Long Long is coming to Interlochen to be able to play. He's probably one of the most famous pianists on our planet. He's been named or dubbed as the hottest artist on the classical music planet by the New York Times. And he's performed with major pop and rock stars from Metallica to Pharrell, orchestras around the world, huge events, everything from the opening of the Olympic Games in Beijing to Grammy Awards. He's just absolutely captivating on stage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on August 2nd, he's going to be performing in Interlochen. He's going to be performing Rhapsody in Blue, which is a piece by George Gershwin that blends really classical and jazz. So it's a great introduction to classical music. If you're not traditionally a classical music fan, this is a great introduction to classical music, especially by one of the most renowned artists in this genre. And he's going to be playing with the World Youth Symphony Orchestra. So these are talented young musicians from all over the globe it's just going to make this performance even more special.
And so like you mentioned, that one is on August 2nd. So for the other announcements today, folks might have to wait a little longer for these next couple of acts.
Yep, these next couple of acts. So what this is doing with Long Long is we're kicking off what's called the Shirley Young Distinguished Artist Series. And what this is a brand new series at Interlochen where we're bringing in some of the most renowned artists in the world to not only perform, but really to engage with the students at Interlochen. So after Long Long, we have Renee Fleming in 2026, who's one of the most celebrated sopranos of our time. Her voice is just absolutely beautiful. It's powerful. She's performed some of the biggest stages as well, including the Super Bowl. And then in 2027, we're going to have Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra performing at Interlochen as well. Wynton, he's a jazz legend. He's a trumpetist. He's known for his trumpet playing, obviously, and his ability to bring jazz to people all over the world. What's really cool about this in this series that we have is people who purchase tickets for Long Long, for example, are going to get early access to ticketing for Renee Fleming as well as Wynton Marsalis. We know these tickets are going to sell quickly. People from all over Michigan, potentially all over the country, maybe even all over the world, are going to be coming to Interlochen just to see these performances, as these artists are they're world renowned.
So tickets for Long Long go on sale when?
Tickets for Long Long go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And if you haven't heard of Long Long, I highly encourage you to YouTube him. He has some great Disney songs that he's done. He actually has a thing on Disney Plus right now. But he's absolutely amazing. He's a great pianist, and to have caliber like that right in our backyard, it's just awesome. It's going to be a great show to see.
I will definitely have to do my research and look into him more because I'm so embarrassed to admit that when we were reading these announcements in our earlier newscast, I just went ahead and said, oh yeah, pianist Lang Lang. So I didn't even know the correct way to pronounce his name, and now I'm very ashamed. Oh, you still there, Ronnie? Oh no. He's so embarrassed by my pronunciation, he had to leave. Oh, I shouldn't have even said anything. I should have just pretended like that didn't happen. But anyways, like Rodney mentioned, tickets will go on sale for Long on this Friday, and then you do get early access to those other shows as well. So sorry that we had some technical difficulties there with Rodney and didn't get to thank him for coming on Unscripted so many weeks in a row and sharing some very exciting announcements at Interlochen. But in case you want any more information on all of these concerts happening at Interlochen, I can reiterate some information that Rodney has shared with us in the past. So we do know that all of the ticket sales, it goes right back into scholarships to help students attend Interlochen. And you can go to our website to see a whole list of all. Oh, Ronnie's back. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, I'm back.
Sorry about that. I'm not really sure what happened there, but good to have you back.
Some sort of connection issue, but yeah, thanks for having me back. And I heard you were saying, all the purchasing for the tickets, the beer and wine patio, all that revenue does go back to the students for scholarships for students all over the world and right here in Northern Michigan. So this summer series, the Interlochen Arts Festival, is just an absolute gem that we have at Interlochen to be able to really help the young artists throughout the globe to come to Interlochen and just really to learn at one of the world's largest or one of the world's most renowned arts institutes that there is.
And I know you've mentioned in the past that, right now there are folks watching all over Northern Michigan. Some of them, it might be a little hard for them just to drive over to Interlochen, stay for a concert, and drive back home that same night. So the good news is there are some overnight options for those folks, right?
Absolutely. We do have a hotel right on site, the Stone Hotel. And we also have cabins that you can rent cabins. Maybe you have a family that, you want to run a cabin rather than staying in a hotel room. We have those on site as well. You can find those on our website or give us a call and we can certainly help you out and book a hotel for you, a hotel stay or a cabin rental.
Well, Ronnie, we really do appreciate you joining us on Unscripted every Monday for the past couple of months now. It's been really fun to hear all of these Interlochen concert announcements from you. And you've also shared a lot of very important information about what's actually happening at Interlochen. So is there anything else that you want to mention before we let you go?
I encourage everyone to come out, see at least one show this year, and I'll be out there. Come on over and say hi. I'd like to meet everyone. And it's just going to be an awesome summer. We have 36 acts that have been announced, and it is going to be an absolute blast this summer with the concerts, the shows, everything at Interlochen. I just hope you really get to experience what we have for you.
And in case you've missed some of our previous announcements, there really is a little something for everyone in this lineup for the summer. So very exciting for all the folks there at Interlochen getting to host all these amazing acts, and very exciting for the community to get to experience these acts. So Ronnie, thanks again so much for all of your time and for once again joining us on Unscripted. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just take care. Okay, before the break, we have one more story to share with you. So we are looking ahead to this weekend. Of course, Sunday is Easter, and there's a tradition that many folks tend to do every Easter, especially if you have some young kids, and that is dyeing eggs. But with record high egg prices, that has people scrambling to find some alternative ways to do this fun tradition. So this prompted Jet Puffed Marshmallows to release a color dyeing kit just in time for Sunday's holiday. The first of its kind dip and decorate kit it's being sold for about $2. It comes with 24-ounce bag of extra large marshmallows, 6 colors, miniature tongs for, of course, dipping and decorating, and some pens for designing. So if you want a cheaper alternative to the classic egg dyeing, this might be your perfect solution. Kits are being sold on Walmart's website, and they will be restocked daily. So let's take a look at our question of the day related to that. So again, with prices so high right now for eggs, is that going to stop you from dyeing eggs this Easter? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That will take you to our website where you can vote. It looks like right now 44% of voters say yes, this is going to stop them, but 56% say nope, we are going to continue the tradition. All right, we are going to continue our coverage on the upcoming snow in the forecast straight ahead with Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, today was a really beautiful day for a lot of us across northern Michigan. Sunny, warmer temperatures. It really felt like spring. Tomorrow is going to feel more like winter again. But Joe, you mentioned we have more sun in the forecast for later on. So hopefully this winter weather won't last too long, right? Just like a day.
That's what we're hoping. Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes you get into the lake effect season in January, February, you know, it'll snow for 4 or 5 straight days. That's not going to happen here. But we are going to see, you know, a little bit of accumulation, messy. I just think that by this point, everybody's kind of over it, you know.
Yep.
But one day, let's take a look. 3 big things. Some snow and wind tomorrow. Most of that will be in the morning, late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Broadly speaking, and I'll show you the numbers in a minute, 1 to 4 inches. But then sunshine's in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday. It'll still be a little chilly Wednesday with highs in the 40s, but we should get into the 50s to around 60 on Thursday. So yeah, a day of snow and wind on Tuesday, but then some sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, and a little bit of rain to end the week. Just pointing that out here kind of early. If you have plans for Friday, could be a few showers. Here's how warm it was today. And look at the 60s. All the yellow shaded areas were in the 60s today. It was a warm one for much of northern Michigan. But unfortunately, if you don't like winter weather, we do have winter Weather advisories now in effect for all the purple shaded areas. Now, if you're not in one of these counties, it doesn't mean you're not going to get snow, but that's where the worst travel conditions should be, with northwest winds gusting to 45, and then again some snow accumulation starting late tonight through tomorrow. Here's why. Low pressure sits northeast of Lake Superior tonight. Behind that, it's a lot colder to our northwest this evening. In fact, we're already starting to see a little bit of snow mixing in across the central and western UP. So here's where that snow is mixing in, west of Marquette, that area around Baraga, up into the Keweenaw Peninsula, where there actually are winter storm warnings there. Meanwhile, back home, rain right now, a little bit of rain south of Sault Ste. Marie currently. What will happen tonight, that rain will start to switch to snow. And there we are by 7, 8 o'clock. Pretty messy. Snow will come down at a pretty good clip for a little while. It will be windy, some blowing snow. And then a lot of that will taper off in the afternoon. Some snow will hang on in the UP. And then all that ends tomorrow night, and we're back to sunshine and some nice weather. Well, Wednesday and Thursday. You can see just a couple clouds. That's it. Here is a look at the snow accumulation by daybreak, only about an inch. By the end of the day tomorrow, the hot spot, or the highest totals, I should say, up around Newberry, up to 4 inches to Quamanon Falls. Lower Michigan, 1 to 3. Some spots a little less than that. And there is the extended forecast. Once we get past Tuesday with the snow and wind, sunshine Wednesday, warmer Thursday, and then we're going to end the week a little bit of rain, but it will not be snow. It'll be rain on Friday.
So we just got to get through Tuesday.
Yep, tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day. All right, thanks, Joe. Let's take another quick break, but we will check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Let's bring in our sports director, Harrison Beebe, live from the Content Center on this Monday evening. Hey, Harrison, what's going on in the sports world today?
Maya, I had trouble thinking of the best way to use my 2 minutes and 10 seconds for the evening, so I decided to break it down in kind of like a quick hits headline format to really go over some of the noteworthy events of today and really Saturday, Sunday, and today. We'll start with the big news from this afternoon. That is the current Fair State men's basketball coach. That is Andy Bronkema. He used to play at McBain and won a state championship as a player back in 2002. He also won a national championship with the Bulldogs back in 2018 as their head coach. Well, he's going Division I now. He's going to make that upgrade to Mount Pleasant to be the head coach of the Chippewas in the MAC starting next year. So cool tie-in there for a guy who's kind of staying in those Northern Michigan roots and kind of moving to Central Michigan there. Literally, CMU would be in the college. The middle headline, the Western Michigan Broncos winning the national championship in hockey. That was a pretty big deal over the weekend. And wow, what a story for them. Their first Frozen Four, and they beat Denver and Boston while they're in that competition, two powerhouse names in Frozen Four lineage. And it's Western that comes up with the national title. First in-state program. Maya, there's 7 Division I college hockey programs, and they're the first one to win a national title since Michigan State in 2007. So it had been a while. There's not too many. I think there's around 64 or so college hockey teams. So you would think, once every 18 years is a little reasonable to at least ask for a national title. And that final headline, we talked about golf a little on Friday. Rory McIlroy completing the career Grand Slam, one of only 6 golfers to ever win the Masters, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the British Open, all in their career. Took Rory a little while to get this 4th one. He won the other 3 like 10 years ago, but he finally, after some exciting finishes and back and forth drama, finally secured the green jacket in Augusta yesterday. So a pretty cool story to wrap up the sports weekend.
Yeah, very eventful weekend in the world of sports. And I know you'll have much more tonight during sports at 11 because you are all out of time right now, Harrison. Thanks so much for joining us, though. And we are going to take one more break, but we'll check in with our question of the day and the live results next.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Well, Easter is this upcoming Sunday, and a tradition for many folks, especially those with kids, is to dye eggs on Easter. But will the high price of eggs right now stop you from continuing the tradition of dyeing eggs on Easter? 43% said yes, but 57% said no, that will not stop their tradition. On Facebook, Robert says, nope, it's literally like $20. Anne says we will still be doing eggs. A few other comments, people just saying yes or no. You can join the conversation on our Facebook page, Up North Live. But that will do it for Unscripted tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.